My entitled son got bullied by a little girl. We didn't do anything, and he humiliated the little girl. I lost it and demanded that he apologize. He refused, so I grounded my son, took his electronics, and cut his meals and outings. Now my husband has lifted everything and humiliated me in front of my son. My son 11M just started middle school this fall, and to be honest, he's been thriving. He's always been a sweet, funny, energetic kid, but I worried how he'd adjust with the shift to a new school, especially since he's always had a small circle of close friends. But it's been a better start than we could have hoped for. He's really throwing himself into his classes, even math, which used to be like pulling teeth. He started trying out a few clubs, has made friends from different classes, and genuinely seems excited to go to school most mornings. That's been a huge win. We live in a neighborhood with a good mix of families, and several of his new friends happen to live just a few houses away. Because of that, our backyard has become kind of a regular gathering place after school and on weekends. I've been totally fine with it. I like seeing him socialize more, especially after a rough 5th grade year, where he was bullied a bit for being short. The kids are usually pretty respectful, and I like being able to keep an eye on things. A few days ago, one of the other parents in the neighborhood, let's call her Samantha, came over to speak to my husband. I didn't know she was coming, and I wasn't there for the actual conversation. But when I came out to grab laundry from the line, I caught the tail end of it. She looked upset. My husband looked frustrated. After she left, I asked him what it was about, and he told me. Apparently, our son had told her daughters ages 8 and 12 that they were no longer welcome in our yard. He had said some mean things, and the youngest one had gone home crying. I was surprised, to put it mildly. I've always seen our son as kind-hearted. A little sarcastic, sure, but not cruel. I pressed for more details. Here's where things got complicated. According to my husband, this wasn't out of nowhere. He said he was already aware of the situation and had even spoken with our son about it before things escalated. Basically, the younger daughter 8F, we'll call her Lily, had been teasing our son during a few of their hangouts. It started subtly. Little comments when she and her sister Emma, 12F, had popsicles or candy and didn't share, or saying things like, "We have this and you don't." At first, it seemed like harmless kid stuff, but then it got worse. Lily started mocking our son's new haircut and making fun of the soccer team he just joined. They haven't been doing great, honestly. They've lost nearly every game. But he's been practicing hard and trying to stay motivated. She would say things like, "No wonder you're losing with hair like that," or "Only losers join that team." My husband said our son came to him upset about it and asking what to do. According to him, he told our son to stand up for himself. He said that while he should try being polite, ask her to stop, explain it was hurtful, he didn't want our son to just take it. My husband's always been a stand your ground type. His exact words, apparently, were, "If you let people walk over you, they won't stop. Give them an inch, and they'll take a mile." I'll admit, I don't always agree with that approach, but I also didn't think much of it when he told me. In theory, I agree that our son should have some tools to protect himself, so I let it go. Well, now I wish I had pushed harder. After our son's polite efforts didn't get Lily to stop, he decided to go a step further. He went to Emma, the older sister, and asked why she wasn't stepping in. He told her that if Lily kept being mean, he would be mean back. Emma didn't really do anything, she's kind of passive from what I've seen, and apparently the teasing continued. That's when our son crossed a line. Last week, while a group of kids were playing outside, Lily started making fun of his soccer team again and called him captain of the losers. She also said something about how even Emma wouldn't want to play with someone like you. According to one of the other boys, our neighbor's son, that's when our son looked at her, said, "You know, I think I figured out a new game we can play. It's called Connect the Dots. I want to see if I can find the Big Dipper on your skin." Lily has psoriasis, noticeable patches on her arms and shoulders that she sometimes wears long sleeves to hide, even in warmer weather. It's something Samantha has mentioned to me in passing, saying they've been trying creams and special shampoos, and that Lily gets self-conscious about it. After our son said that, apparently some of the other kids laughed. I don't think he expected that reaction, but once the name Constellation started getting tossed around, the damage was done. Lily ran home crying. Emma left too. The next day, their parents came over, and that's when Samantha confronted my husband. She was angry, understandably. She said our son humiliated her daughter and is now encouraging other kids to bully her. She said he should be punished and made to apologize. My husband, again, refused to do any of that. He said that Lily had been warned and was repeatedly mean to our son this was just a response to her bullying, and he wasn't going to scold our son for finally standing up for himself. He told her something like, "We tried being nice. If your daughter dishes it out, she has to learn to take it. Maybe now she'll think twice before mocking other kids." Samantha was furious. She left abruptly and hasn't spoken to us since. Now I'm stuck in the middle of a storm. The next day, the school called us to let us know that they had received a complaint from Samantha. Since this happened off school property and outside of school hours, there wasn't anything they could officially do, but they wanted to keep an eye on the social dynamics, which I appreciated. I also found out that Lily hasn't returned to playing outside with the other kids since the incident, and Emma has been avoiding our son at school. I asked our son about it directly, trying to stay calm. At first, he was defensive and said, "She started it." But as we talked more, I could see he wasn't proud of what he said. He admitted he felt bad after the other kids started laughing. He said it felt like everyone was piling on her, and even though she had been mean to him, he hadn't wanted her to feel like that. That broke my heart. Because that's the part of him I've always known, the sensitive, kind little boy who doesn't want to be the cause of someone else's pain. But I also know that feeling humiliated and teased over time can push anyone to lash out, especially when they think no one else will stand up for them. Now I'm here, stuck. My husband thinks the situation handled itself. He says our son won't be anyone's punching bag, and that the teasing has stopped. He believes Lily got a taste of her own medicine, and while it's unfortunate, it was the only language bullies understand. But I'm not okay with how it played out. I don't want our son to feel like mocking someone's medical condition is ever an acceptable form of retaliation. I want him to learn that yes, standing up for yourself is important, but there's a line, and once it's crossed, you can't pretend it didn't hurt someone. At the same time, I don't want him to think he should let people walk all over him either. And the hardest part? I'm not sure what the right answer is. Some of the other parents I've spoken to have given me mixed reactions. One mom said she was glad my son stood up to Lily, because she's been kind of a brat to her own daughter. Another said she thinks I should be mortified by what he said. My sister thinks I should make him write an apology and take a break from having kids over. My husband says that'll just tell our son he can't defend himself. So now I'm here, conflicted, and trying to figure out the best way to navigate this. Which brings me to my question for this community. AITA, if I discipline my son and make him apologize. Comments. Comment 1. It seems like your husband handled the issue, and now you want to stir the pot again. Let it be. You would be the arsehole if you restart it all. Your son was bullied. Period. He tried telling the girl to stop. He even involved her older sister. Nothing worked. And then, he lashed out in the way a frustrated 11-year-old would. It wasn't classy, but it got the bullying to stop. You're not raising a saint. You're raising a kid who needs to learn to survive in a world where not everyone plays nice. Maybe have a chat with him about better ways to stand up for himself next time, but force an apology. That just teaches him to let people walk all over him until mom steps in. Bad message. Comment 2. Have you talked with the parents about their kids bullying your son? Because that's the core issue here. Your husband had a very reasonable approach. Try and talk to the girls about their actions in a calm manner. When that didn't work, he tried talking to an older sibling who might understand a bit easier. That didn't work either. And since it sounds like at this point, you didn't intervene along with the other kids' parents, your son took the next logical step for an 11-year-old to take, which is to stand up to a bully and give them a taste of their own medicine. And while it's not cool to make fun of someone for their physical appearance or other conditions they can't change about themselves, it seems like all the parents in this situation dropped the ball here. FTR, I think your son telling those kids they're not welcome at his house anymore is 10,000% reasonable. Would you allow a kid over that you know is making fun of your son? And again, I don't think mocking someone's medical condition is okay. But that's a conversation to have with your son to help him grow as a person. So you would be the arsehole here. Don't make your son apologize to his bullies, be the grown-up and talk to the parents. If you make him apologize, then that just gives those girls the idea they can do whatever they want, because if he gives it back to them, then mommy will make him say sorry. Weak message. Comment 3. I'd honestly leave it alone. Your kid didn't start it. He finished it. If someone throws a punch at you, then do you just apologize? Yes, you would be the arsehole. Your son was being bullied by these girls, and they continued to bully him after he told them they were being mean and asked them to stop. As a mom myself, I can't imagine making my kid apologize to their bully. Why aren't you advocating for him? Do you even like your own kid? You would be the arsehole. You would be teaching him to apologize for things that he did not start. He's not completely innocent though, so maybe talk to him about leaving the situation or telling an adult when other kids are being unkind to him, instead of getting revenge like he did. That usually doesn't work out, and even if he doesn't throw the first punch, he will still be in trouble with the school if he does something like that again. All he needs is a little lesson. Not punishment though, in my opinion. Update. I wasn't planning to post again, but I've been sitting with the fallout from this, and I honestly can't stop thinking about how completely isolated I feel in my own home. When I made the original post, I really expected at least some people to see my side. Not everyone, but maybe other moms, other people who care deeply about how boys learn to treat others, especially girls. But instead, I got flooded with responses calling me controlling, dramatic, or accusing me of turning a kid's misstep into some kind of feminist boot camp. It felt like I was the only one horrified by what happened. Let me be clear. I know Lily was mean. I know she teased my son, and that he felt humiliated by it. And I'm not pretending that his response came out of nowhere. But the way some people in the comments just brushed over what he said like mocking a visible medical condition is totally fair game. That scared me. I don't care how witty the comeback was. I don't care that she teased his haircut or soccer team. What he said about her was cruel. And I say that as someone who has seen kids teased for acne, eczema, braces, weight, and everything in between. Those wounds stick. I wanted to raise a son who knew better. Not a son who knows how to cut deep when he's upset. After I made the post, I sat my son down again. I tried to explain why mocking someone's health condition wasn't okay, even in response to bullying. I told him how skin disorders, like psoriasis, aren't something people can control, and how teasing someone about something they're already insecure about crosses a huge line. I asked him again if he felt like what he said was okay. He shrugged and said, she deserved it. When I asked if he'd be okay if someone called him a name based on something he couldn't change, he said, I'd just roast them back. It honestly felt like he was parroting things he'd heard from his dad. And yeah, I lost it a bit, not screaming or throwing things, but emotionally, I broke. I told him that if he couldn't take this seriously, then he was going to feel it. So I took away privileges. No screen time, no outings, no hanging out with friends. I stopped cooking extra things for him or letting him pick his meals. He still ate, always, but it wasn't special treatment. If he wants to act like he doesn't care about hurting others, then I wasn't going to bend over backwards like I usually do to make everything easy and comfortable. I wanted him to think. My husband was furious. Said I was turning this into a moral crusade. He gave our son his electronics back, told him he was proud of him for sticking up for himself, and accused me of coddling the bully. We fought, bad, and we haven't really spoken since. He's making it worse. My son now thinks he has full permission to ignore what I say, and honestly, it's gutting me. I feel like I'm shouting into a void where no one hears me, least of all the people who should be on my side. To try and repair some of the damage, I reached out to the girl's mother, Samantha, and we had a real conversation, just the two of us. She told me they'd spoken to both of their daughters. Lily had been grounded, and they're working on empathy at home too. I believe her. She wasn't vindictive or accusatory. She just seemed tired and sad, like me. Like we're both just trying to steer kids away from turning into the kind of people who leave damage behind. But at home, I'm done trying to pretend everything's fine. My son ignores me. My husband undermines me. I feel like the villain in my own family for trying to teach our child how to be a decent person. All I ever wanted was to raise a son who respected others, who didn't become the kind of boy who thinks she deserved it is an excuse to say something cruel. I wanted to protect him from becoming someone who hurts people and calls it strength. And now I feel like I've lost both of them. No one respects me. Not in this house. I just wanted to raise a responsible son. Comments. Comment 1. You completely overreacted. Yes, what your son said was hurtful, but he's 11. He was being teased repeatedly and had already tried asking nicely for it to stop. This wasn't him randomly mocking someone's condition. It was the end of a long strain of being poked and finally snapping. Taking away friends, screens, and even his comfort meals over that? That's not teaching him to be kind, it's teaching him that you care more about appearances than context. Also, the way you constantly frame this as, I'm trying to stop him from becoming an abuser, is just way too extreme. You need to take a serious step back and look at your parenting through a realistic lens. Not everything is a red flag for future violence. He deserves grace too. Comment 2. Honestly, everyone in this situation dropped the ball a little. Your son, your husband, the girls, their parents, and yeah, you too. Your core message is right. Kids should learn that it's never okay to go after someone's vulnerabilities. But context does matter. He wasn't being cruel in a vacuum. He was trying to defend himself the only way he knew how, after adults failed to intervene early. The real damage here is the breakdown between you and your husband. You have to parent as a team or your son will never take you seriously. You're fighting each other harder than you're teaching him anything. Rebuild that, or the next big blow-up is just a matter of time. Comment 3. You even admitted in your first post that your son looked remorseful after the other kids started laughing and things escalated. He got it. He saw that his joke went too far. That's exactly what you wanted, right? For him to recognize the impact of his words. So what more did you want from him, blood? Look, I get that you're trying to raise a kind and respectful kid. Totally valid. But parenting isn't about flipping a switch. It's about building understanding over time. You caught a moment where your kid realized, on his own, that he may have hurt someone worse than he intended. That's huge. Instead of acknowledging that learning moment, you went scorched earth and acted like he was on the path to becoming an abuser. Lady, slow down a bit. Let the lesson land without burying him in consequences. He doesn't need to be broken down, he needs to be guided.